Yes, as part of our promises of discussing, you know, the ills in the society, most especially our own society, our own country, Nigeria, we'll be having series of discussions on some ills in our society, and I've been able to look at it from different perspectives, as in why are we where we are. And I discovered that this plethora of problems we face ourselves, or we find ourselves rather, they are actually caused by three distinct people, stakeholders: the politicians, the religious leaders, and the people themselves. Yes, when we talk about the people, we have the influencers who make money at the expense of the people, the gullible ones, the illiterates. Okay, we see them, they call themselves leaders, and they cash out, like the popular language, they cash out. You know, we know so many of them that they cash out based on the ignorance of those they lead. And so we are going to touch these stakeholders one after the other, and that is why I said it's a form of series, and I pray we'll complete it even before June. But it won't stop the other aspect of our discussions about contemporary issues in our society, how to discover ourselves. It won't stop that. Now, I would like to start with the religious aspect, because this aspect is creating serious problems for us as a people, not just in Nigeria alone, across Africa. It is creating serious problems to us. Something crossed my mind that when the missionaries came to Africa, okay, they discovered that the only way to take away the traditions of the people in Nigeria, the worship of Ogun, the worship of Obatala, the worship of all of these gods, was to give them something in exchange for what they are giving out. And what was that? Simply, they gave us education and exposure. The missionaries were not going about casting demons up and down the way we are doing now. The missionaries were not going about asking people, if you don't pay tithe, if you don't do this, this will do you, this will happen. No! It has gotten to the level where even some men of God sell stickers, and if you don't buy these stickers, they tell you so thing will happen to you. It's kind of funny how the people's mind have been manipulated just because we want to serve God. It's funny. And so the religious leaders, most of them, though not all of them, most of them, I'm talking about the Christianity, I'm talking about Islam, they've succeeded in capturing the minds of the people. Why the government is doing theirs, the clique of some religious leaders are busy manipulating the people, extorting money from them, all in the name of trying to impress them. Now, I will pick it from this angle in this video, and in the next video I will pick it again from another angle. Let's pick it from the angle of how some of our religious leaders aids criminality, corruption, bribery in our society. You and I know quite alright that a poor man in Nigeria, in Africa, once he or she gets into power, or once they get into power, they become multi-millionaires. We know how they made this money. We know. We don't need to deceive ourselves. We don't need to. But because some of these religious leaders are not ready to lose members, or are ready to attract new members to make money, you see a man who was very, very poor just a year ago became an elected councillor, or just become something in government, and he comes to church with loads of money, cars, entourage, and all of that, and you bring him to the front and you pray for him that God should bless him, the source of his wealth should not run dry, and you know this man is stealing the Commonwealth of the people, and yet again you are the person that will still raise prayer point that God should change Nigeria. How? This is ridiculous. And that is why I say some of the religious leaders are greater problems to this continent. We are afraid to speak the truth, even when the Bible says, when you say the truth shall set you free. I can say it, a lot of us are living in bondage. A lot of us, we are living in bondage. I will go back to that point. In my community, the primary school, the public primary schools in my community were all built by the missionaries. Is it the Roman Catholic mission? Is it the Anglican? Is it LA? Is it Methodist? They were all built by the missionaries. Because they wanted to give the people better future. They wanted to equip the people. Fine, it may have its negative aspects, but what about, let us focus on the positive now. In fact, those things they did then, let some of our religious leaders now practice it. We have communities where there are no schools. We have communities where we don't care. All we care about is we want to drive expensive cars, exotic cars, while lots of people are suffering. And we still collect from these people, all in the name of don't speak ill against my anointed. But then the Bible says I should say the truth, and the truth shall set me free. So please, it is high time we started checkmating the activities of some, I didn't say all, some religious leaders who have capitalized on the ignorance of the people to make them dry. You can't continue to aid crime and you still go back to God to raise prayer point that God should intervene in the problem of Nigeria. You are creating a problem and you are calling God to intervene. Is that not madness? Do we think other countries of the world that are getting it right, do we think they are using magic? Go and check other countries that are making it in the world. Religiosity is controlled. Religiosity is practiced based on what is in the Bible, not based on what we just want to make. Go and check. Go and check. This is a challenge to some of our religious leaders. Let us imitate the attitudes. Let us imitate the motives of missionaries coming to Nigeria, coming to Africa. Enough is enough of this manipulation of the mind. Enough is enough of these extortions. Enough is enough of this flagrant disrespect for humanity.